Good news, bad news situation. That was not even planned. That was just a happy accident. Hey guys, welcome back and welcome to the third episode in our room rescue series. So we are here at Sam and Hailey's home and we are going to be completely transforming their bedroom. They want like a really moody space and they also want to add a lot of function into the space. So we have our work cut out for us and we're going to try to tackle it in just 3 days. So knock on wood that we can get it done. We first need to start by actually removing all of the furniture because the first thing on the list is to paint the entire room and we're going to make it dark and moody. So I'm hoping that the paint color that I chose is not too dark, but let me take a second and show you exactly where we're starting out so that you can really appreciate the final result because in my head it's amazing and it always turns out better. So let's do this. So the first thing, of course, was to empty out Hailey and Sam's room, and we actually were not going to be using much of anything from their existing furniture just because a lot of it was bulky. A lot of it we found out didn't really serve them well, and so we got very creative with the budget. And by the way, we do have a budget of $1,000. So typically how room rescue works is we will decide on a budget with the family that we've selected, and then we will match their budget up to $500. So for example, if they put in $500, then Kyle and I will put in $500 to create a budget of $1,000. And that was our budget for this bedroom. At first we were like, oh, no problem, no worries, we'll definitely get it done. And then as things went on, we were just kind of adding things to the space and we were, coming into little hiccups here and there. And so we were like, I don't know if we'll make it or not. So I will share at the end of this video the final budget that we came in at. But just to give a little context, our first room rescue budget was also $1,000. We did their dining room and their kitchen. And we came in $70 under budget. So I believe it cost us about $930. And we did so much in that space. But we get really creative. We use items we have. We use paint supplies that we already have. And then of course we thrift a lot of things. We get really creative with the budget. And it really is incredible to see how far you can stretch your budget and how much you can accomplish. Also a super side note, but if you want to get to know Sam and Hailey and their 3 girls a little bit better and kind of understand what they're wanting in this space, we actually shared a vlog over on our Kyle and Amanda vlog channel where you can kind of get a more in-depth look into that. So it is so echoey in here. Do you hear that? That's what happens when you clear it out completely. So everything is all cleared out. We actually took off blinds from the windows so that I can cut in around those. The paint color that we went with on this is Sherwin-Williams Urbane Bronze. Sam and Hailey want like a very moody bedroom. They kind of want to embrace like that they don't have a ton of natural light in here. And so they kind of want to embrace that and kind of bring in like some dark and some depth. So we are running with that idea. Urbane Bronze is one color that I actually am not super familiar with. I've never used it before, but as I was searching like dark colors, moody colors, I kept being like, oh, I love that color. What is it? Sherwin-Williams Urbane Bronze. And then I would find another picture. Oh, I love that one. Same color. So I have kind of battled with myself internally on this because it is a very dark color. It has an LVR of 8, 100 being like bright white and it reflects light as much as possible. And then 0 meaning like black, like it does not reflect light at all. And this one's 8. So it's very dark. Fingers crossed, I'm really hoping that we can really just fully lean into the dark, moody aspect of the bedroom and create just kind of like a really comfy, cozy, warm oasis for them. So wish me luck. Urbane Bronze is like a deep brown with green undertones, and it also has some gray undertones in it too, and so it's kind of like the perfect dark moody grayish color again, but it's very warm and earthy because it does have those green tones in it. And I think it's gonna be perfect because we are going to be leaning into a lot of like browns and things like that in this room, so that means it's gonna pull brown. It's gonna be beautiful. Okay, so I'm still cutting in and painting. We have a ton of paint to do, a ton. While I'm doing that, Kyle's gonna start kind of bouncing around actually. He's just been filling wall holes right now, but he's going to be installing the fan, also working on a little wood wall that we're doing right here. So we're still gonna paint this, but we're gonna do like wood slats, the same exact color as the wall, but it'll just give it a lot of texture. And it's also, they're going to be vertical slats, so they're going to really draw your eye up, because if you notice, their ceiling is slanted, and I want to make the space feel bigger, especially because we are darkening the space, which can sometimes oftentimes make it feel smaller. So right now we're just putting up tape to figure out exactly like where we want the slats to go. We didn't need to buy a fan or anything. They already had it. They just hadn't gotten a chance to put it up. So we're gonna swap that out for them today, give them a little bit more of a modern vibe. And then once I help Kyle get this down, I'll start painting the wall and we'll actually see some progress happening.
No, the new fan's in that box.
Okay.
So we'll swap it out, shouldn't take too long.
Perfect.
Famous last words.
Yeah, Kyle loves to jinx us.
I know, I do. Like everything. Look how fast
wow, it's so easy.
It's going so smooth. I don't know.
No hiccups or anything.
Yeah, we haven't had any problems today.
Yeah, Kyle likes the challenge, I guess. So already I love this color, it's so pretty. We obviously still need more coats. The cool thing is, like I was saying, this color does have some green, but it's not a green paint. It's very brownish gray. In the pan itself, like when I poured the paint out, it looks so gray. And on the wall, it's pulling very brown. So it just goes to show like it's really gonna vary when you have a color like that. It'll make a difference if you have a west facing home or like a west facing room. Also, whatever kind of colors you pull into that space. So definitely be mindful of that when you choose a color that has different undertones like this. You just want to make sure that you're going to be pulling out the color that you want. So to be completely transparent, I was second guessing my paint color choice this entire time until we got the final wall painted. And then I was like, okay, I love this. You guys will have to let me know your thoughts on this color. Obviously, you can't fully tell until we get the final coats on, but I kind of tried to dabble my foot in it, just do one wall at a time and see if we would feel more confident with it. But because this was such a bold choice, like there was just kind of no dabbling, like you just went all in or you stayed out, and we decided to jump in head first. Painting the wall is such a dark, bold color, but thankfully it definitely pays off in the end, and we just love this color so much. So also, I just want to mention, if you have a tiny budget, paint is going to be your best friend. You can paint furniture, you can paint walls, like the possibilities are endless, and paint will completely transform whatever piece of furniture or whatever space you're working on. It's amazing the impact that it makes. All right, the walls are all painted. Obviously, we still need to do an extra coat on these walls. This wall, we'll just do a few touch-up coats, but we do have 2 coats on here, and it actually has really good coverage. So the next step is
These are 2.5 by 3/4 inch strips, and we're gonna put them just like this. And we're gonna put them every 18 inches across the wall, so it'll go vertical all the way to the ceiling. And the purpose of that is to bring your eye up, because they have tall ceilings here. We just need to try to bring your eye up, and that's what these vertical stripes will do. If you put a piece of tape over this and then you nail into it with your brad nail, put a little bit of caulking there and you peel the tape off, it's perfectly smooth. So that's why we have the green tape on. The top is slanted, so this is cut at it's about 10 degrees. And on the bottom, it's gonna go against their baseboard, but their baseboard's kind of thin. Cut a 45-degree angle into it, and then now it looks nice when we do nail this in.
Yeah.
It'll be like that.
Yeah, and it'll just look more finished. Obviously, we'll have to paint this piece.
Yep.
So we're just centering it actually between the windows because this wall is not, like it's not gonna be centered on the wall, but the bed is gonna be centered between the windows and it'll just kind of help bring some symmetry to the room.
We're doing like an 18-inch gap between them, and then the width of the board, and then another 18 inches.
Alrighty, welcome to day 2. We have a little bit of a different backdrop. We are not light and airy anymore. We still have our green stripes on the wall. So Kyle is actually first thing going to start caulking these holes, and then we'll remove the tape. But the reason for the tape is when you caulk that, then you can just pull the tape right off and you don't have to actually like push it in or anything. It's just a lot less messy and a lot less time consuming, which is perfect because we are running low on time with all that we have to do. The good news is we got the 2 really big time consuming projects done yesterday. So this morning we're just gonna be working on caulking this, kind of repainting, retouching up that. So the great news is we found an amazing bed used, but it looks brand new. But then on our way home, Kyle was like, the bed we got needs a box spring. So we were actually late getting here today because we we're searching on Facebook Marketplace to try to find one that was not super far away and not a crazy price, and that they would actually respond to us and let us come pick it up right away.
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, so we found one, yay. But time to get to work. All right, we have progress. Everything is nice and finished. Now we get to the fun part. We're gonna bring the rug in, get the bed, and I'm so excited for the bed because we are teaming up with Bedsure today, and they sent Hailey and Sam the most beautiful, luxurious, I was just in heaven being able to go through their site and pick out the most beautiful bedding, especially because Hailey said she just wants a bed where she's able to come and relax in, and it feels cozy and plush, and it's gonna be so good. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting that put together and then kind of make our way around the room. So don't get too attached to this bed because, long story short, when I picked it up from the lady from Facebook Marketplace, her husband had already broken it down and she didn't have exact measurements on the listing. So when we got it to Sam and Hailey's home to put it together, the bed we realized was almost a foot longer and a foot wider than the original bed that I had actually ordered for their space. And so unfortunately, this thrifted bed was just too large and actually would have made their space too small to include a dresser. So we totally shifted plans, and Kyle made an unexpected trip back to our home to pick up the original bed that we had purchased for this space. So that was definitely a shift in the budget because our thrifted bed was obviously a lot less expensive than our purchased bed on Amazon. In the end, it all worked out beautifully. I was so excited to reach out to Bedsure and ask if they wanted to partner up because I have been a fan of Bedsure projects for several years. We've had several different Bedsure items in our own home and I've used them in friends and families, and they are just such high quality. So when I got the opportunity to actually go through their website and pick the most beautiful bedding for Sam and Hailey, I just jumped on it. I was so excited. So all of the items that I picked were very earthy tones, very soft neutrals, but I also wanted it to be really light. And then I contrasted that with this beautiful dark olive green bed throw, which is so stunning. But starting with the base layer, we got a mattress topper from Bedsure. It's waterproof, it's a pillow top mattress protector, and it's perfect because it really elevates your existing mattress to make it even more soft and luxurious feeling. And then right on top of that, I added in these bamboo and linen sheet sets. And when I tell you, these are like the most beautiful, like softest sheets. They are so gorgeous. They're really light and airy and they're very breathable and they just feel so incredible. Then right on top of that, I put this beautiful cotton waffle weave quilt, and this is perfect to add this below your comforter because if you're a hot sleeper, you can just sleep with this, or if you're a cold sleeper, it gives you an extra layer. And then folded down kind of towards the middle of the bed, I got this plush cotton waffle weave comforter, and this is so perfect because this is going to give you the warmth that you're needing. It's also going to make your bed just look and feel that much more high-end. And you'll notice that I did go with a lot of the waffle weave knits because it's going to give a lot of texture to your bed and just make it look that much more luxurious. And then to finish it off, again, I put that waffle weave blanket right on top in olive green. I love this because it really contrasts well with the light bedding that we've added in. And then as you can see, I put the waffle pillowcases on top, and this is perfect because now they don't have to deal with a ton of extra throw pillows, but all their pillows are actually comfortable and actually functional, and they have the beautiful Bedsure fabric, so everything's really nice and comfy. But seriously, look at this bed now. It does look like a very high-end, extremely high-end hotel. It looks so beautiful, and I have confirmed with them that they are loving their bedding. They said it feels so luxurious, they just don't want to get out of bed. So a huge thank you to Bedsure for making this possible for them. And I did want to share that they are giving me a discount code for you guys. So I will have the link and discount code down in the description box so you guys can go ahead and check it out. But do not sleep on Bedsure. I mean, do sleep on Bedsure, but make sure that you don't miss out on this discount and don't miss out on their bedding because they really have such amazing pieces. It is later in the evening. Kyle and I wrapped everything up at the house. We didn't get near as much done as we were hoping to get done, but we are back at our house and we're gonna be working the night away. I do want to paint this desk or kind of stain it. So my options are either to use Licorice Beyond Paint, which is like what I've used on our chairs. My first test that I want to do is to do the black gel stain, but I'm going to test it on the inside of the drawer because you'll never see that, and I'll see kind of how it takes it. But the reason for that is because nothing else in the room has this wood tone in it, and so it kind of looks out of place. And also, this is literally just particle board. It doesn't look the highest quality in person because it has like that fake wood grain. And so I think painting it will be kind of elevate it, and it'll kind of tie into the wall. Like it'll just kind of blend in a little bit more. Then the other thing that we need to work on tonight is the dresser. So we got a dresser from Facebook Marketplace and we need to DIY that. I definitely want to do as much as we can to kind of lighten the rest of the room since the outer edges are dark. That's why we got like the light bedding, the lighter bed, all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna paint that probably with some type of Beyond Paint, probably a mixture I'll make up tonight. We're gonna see if we're going to just paint the whole thing all one color, or if we are going to like try to sand and stain the drawers or paint those black, or you know, something. We'll tie them in with the room somehow. So that's kind of the goal. And then also I have a wall art piece that I thrifted that I want to paint, and I think I just want to do that like an off-white, probably the same color actually as our cabinets. So that's kind of the goal for tonight. So hopefully we can actually get a few hours of sleep tonight before going back, because our goal is to still finish tomorrow on day 3. We will see if that's too lofty of a goal or if it's doable, but either way, I have my hair up, my paint clothes are back on again, and we're ready to do this. So this right here is that thrifted wall art for above the bed. I really didn't like the purple color, but I loved the size and texture. So as soon as I saw this in the thrift store, I knew I was picking it up. And it was only $20, so the perfect item to fit into our budget. So what we did is just taped off the edges because we did want to keep the wood frame. And then I painted the base of it a Benjamin Moore white dove, which is actually the same color as our kitchen cabinets and bedroom walls. So it was really nice that we already had the paint on hand, which definitely saved on the budget. But by the way, while you're watching today, comment below if you think we went under budget, went over budget, or stayed right around our budget of $1,000. I'm curious to know your guesses. Alright guys, welcome back to day 3. I do have a little bit of a cough that came on last night, and so my voice sounds way worse than I feel, but I'm doing good. So we have the bed all done, we have the rug all painted, the wall treatment, all that stuff. We did that gel stain on the desk, and oh my gosh, it turns out so good. You can kind of see the original color in here, and I just felt like it was clashing with the nightstands. So we did that dark black gel stain. It does look like a really deep, kind of like espresso color. So pretty, and I feel like it coordinates a lot better. So today we are going to try to get everything done. We'll see if we end up needing a day 4, but we're doing good today so far. So our focus is actually, we are planning to put a TV. They already had a TV, so we're gonna use that same TV, but we are gonna frame it out. So Kyle's gonna be working on that while I am painting the dresser that we thrifted that goes right here. We're actually gonna do a spray paint on the outside. I've done it before, and actually spray paint, you have to be patient with it and just do thin layers, but it does work out really beautifully. So we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do a light color on the outside of the dresser and kind of see if we can leave the drawers darker to actually pull in that same color on the desk. But we have a lot to get done, so let's do it. Okay, so the drawers of this dresser, I don't even know if I've actually gotten like a good shot of what this dresser looks like. It's a dark wood. There are quite a lot of scratches on the top. The drawers are actually in really great shape, but the top does need refinished because it just has a lot of scratches on it. There is some veneer on the sides and everything of the dresser. I'm not fully able to just sand it and refinish it that way, but we're gonna just paint the outside and then put the drawers in, see if that looks good, and if not, then we'll paint the drawers too. But we do want to lighten it up to lighten up the room continuously a little bit. But the spray paint I'm using is actually a different kind than I've used before. It's the Glidden Max Flex All Surface. It says it dries within 5 minutes. No drips or streaks. And this is the color Peppered Pecan in satin. The satin will be nice because it's not going to be super shiny, but it is going to give a sheen that will be easily cleaned up. Okay, so Kyle started on this project a little bit last night. He like cut the trim pieces, but basically we are making a frame TV for their TV in the bedroom, or we're making a frame for their TV in the bedroom. You can put on little YouTube videos and it ends up making it look like a piece of art, but it really elevates it and just adds a lot to the room instead of just being like, oh, I have a functional TV in here.
So it's pretty easy. You just measure the inside of the TV and then cut 45s.
Yeah, and make sure that you measure like the inside of the bezel, because
right.
You want this to line up and not cover the TV.
Right, it has to be, you have to be pretty precise with your measurements. So I'll start by laying these out on a table, and I just do one corner at a time. Line these up really well. And then with this particular trim, it's pretty thin, so I'm only gonna put one nail from this thick piece of wood into that thick piece of wood. There we go.
Then from there, you're just going to secure it with this corner bracket and a couple really shallow screws, and that's it. Then you just paint or stain it and attach it with some Velcro command strips, which you'll see us do in a little bit, but look at the difference. It completely elevates any TV. Next, I grabbed that wall art that I painted the base on the night before, and I randomly spray painted it with some neutrals that I had on hand. And it didn't look great at first, but we kept with it, just kind of kept going on the coloring, and it turned out beautiful in the end.
Except it's the curtains, so we're gonna put it all the way as tall and over to the left as we can. Yeah, and I think...
Look at that, like that, like
I wonder
just short of that.
I wonder, depending how it hangs, if we could literally put like the bracket right up against this. And then
it would go like that.
Yeah, I think that would look so pretty.
I think we could do that very easily.
Perfect. Yeah, so literally just put the bracket like up against that area.
Okay.
A quick trick with curtains, if you don't want to steam them and you don't want to iron them, and they come out of the package all wrinkly, right? My sisters actually taught me this. You can literally pop them into the dryer with a few ice cubes and they de-wrinkle instantly. Amazing. So I'm actually gonna take the same wall paint and we're just gonna paint this back section because it's not a pretty, like, attractive bracket. These were cheaper, more affordable curtain rods, but just painting this back section is going to make this piece blend into the wall. And it's just like all in the details, it's actually gonna make a difference. Okay, so these nightstands over on the vlog channel, which is Kyle and Amanda, we refinished these. These were actually like Kyle's and my nightstands for years and years. We loved them. We just kind of changed the style in our room. The color that they were before was kind of like a grayish white washed, very farmhouse looking style. So I was planning on either painting them, but instead I have brie wax and you can get it in different colors. So this one is dark brown, but literally all I did is cleaned off the dresser, or the nightstand of course, and then I just took like a lint-free cloth and just wipe it across all of the surfaces. You just want to wipe with the grain and it just like darkens it or colors it. And then the other thing is these are the same hardware pieces, but we just painted them gold to go with everything else with all the gold accents just by using the brie wax or painting them and then painting the hardware. Like, we're gonna have such different pieces. They look completely different now. Okay, the size of this is literally perfect. It lines up exactly, like pushing it all the way over here where it can go. The middle of it lines up exactly center. That was not even planned. That was just a happy accident. Trigger warning. If you don't like to see blood, look away. So, good news, bad news situation. Good news, the dresser is in here and it looks great. I like the two-tone. Real pretty. Good news also, got all the drawers in. Bad news is I was trying to fiddle with the bottom drawer because like one of the sliders came out. One of the sliders on the top was still pushed out and I go like this, like to scoot forward so I could see it better. Jammed my head right into the slider and I was like, oh my gosh, am I bleeding? Kyle's like, no, and then he's like, oh wait, there's like 3 slices. Actually, it's like 3 and 4.
Oh my gosh, look at that.
I've like cleaned up. It started like dripping down my forehead.
Get closer. There you go.
Oh my gosh, it hurts so bad. Ugh. Okay. Anyway, so it's a labor of love.
And your voice here.
And my voice, I know, it's like just such a mess. Whatever. It looks really pretty all around. Next up is the TV. So Kyle has his little, it's like a specialty
like a
stud
scanner.
finder.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So it'll show you where studs are. So like there's one. Let's move down. There's another one right there. So when it has the 2 lines, I'm centered on it. Right there. And there's another stud right there.
Won't it also show if there's like...
Yeah, if there's electrical or plumbing or other stuff like that. So this is just an empty wall with studs in the right spots. So that's good news for us. Time to measure what we need.
Okay, this is actually a piece of artwork we did, yeah, last night. We just taped it off and then painted it kind of random, but neutral, and it'll be light to lighten up the wall. All right, things are coming together. We really only have one more big project. The rest is just kind of like decorating, final touches. And the big project is the floating desk.
That's a big one though.
It is. Hopefully it'll be an easier one, but we'll see. We just have to figure out exactly like where on the wall we want it. And then we're also gonna be putting a shelf right above it. So for the floating desk, the reason that we wanted to go for that is because it can get a little bit cramped in this area, but Sam needs he needs a desk in this space because he works from home twice a week. And the floating desk is going to create a nice workspace. This one actually has like drawers, which is really nice, but also it's going to feel a lot more light. Like it's not going to be a heavy piece. So mentally, when you walk in the room, it's not going to feel heavy and feel like, you know, just make it feel more cluttered. And so that's kind of why we decided to go for a floating desk. Also, we can kind of tuck it up next to the wall, but it will still give him enough room for his monitor and everything because it has a keyboard pull out. So it'll be perfect.
Okay, so we didn't show the full process here on the main makeover video. However, we do have a room rescue prep video over on our Kyle and Amanda vlog channel, and I'll link that down below. But over there, we shared how we made the shelf, but basically we just used a 2x10, cut this down to size, sanded, stained it. Of course, we used some brackets. We got these from Amazon, and we painted those gold to kind of match the different accents in the room, and voila, you have a shelf.
All right, next up, this is right next to their bedroom door, and we are going to be adding a beautiful, it's gold framed arch mirror. It's nice because it'll break up. We have a lot of like, you know, modern straight lines, so it'll kind of break that up. But also because we have the dark walls, it's going to be able to bounce a lot of light off of everything. It'll also be functional, obviously. They can use the mirror, and it'll just kind of add some interest to this wall because right now there's literally nothing. Kyle has just requested toothpaste. So,
I begrudgingly
officially
accepted. My little markers don't fit in there.
So I guess toothpaste is king.
Okay.
All right, so if you're new here, this is my favorite method. Kyle typically hates it, but he has requested it today. Okay, so what you do is, in order to level your item on the wall, you're going to use toothpaste and you squish it onto like where you want your holes in the wall to be. In this case, we're gonna do it just a touch high, okay? Glob, glob. And then what we're gonna do is actually flip the mirror over, level it, and then when we push it up against the wall and you pull it away, the toothpaste will mark the spot. These frames are going to go on the other side of the bathroom door. I did black to kind of tie in the black stain that we did on the desk, but they are nice, good sizes. They're 16 by 20, but they are matted down to an 8 by 10. That's a good trick if you want like a big art piece, but you want to save some money, is just get a bigger frame that's matted down. You can get digital downloads from Etsy, and then I just get them printed out at Walgreens. Super easy. These I found from Goodwill. They were like $4. I don't remember if they were half off or not, but they're these beautiful like brass planters, like wall planters or something. I don't know, but you could like store pencils or keys or whatever, or you could put plants in here. I'm hoping that that's my plan if we can find enough plants, but we're either gonna put them right here, right when you walk in the door, or we'll put them here. While Kyle's finding the screws for that, I'm gonna start putting together our olive tree. I've bought the same olive tree so many times for different spaces and different homes, but I love it and it's always such a good deal. So the trick is you have to make sure that you fluff it. We're adding a lamp into the corner because it's going to just, again, like the gold will kind of move your eye around the room, but also it's going to add a lot of light because right now they only have the light on the fan. We're gonna add 2 lamps on the nightstand tables, and then we'll also have this tall lamp, and it'll be perfect area for the desk. Quick tip, when you're designing a space, you want to repeat the same colors throughout the room, but you also want to make sure that you're dispersing them because it actually will carry your eye throughout a space and it really adds a lot of interest. So for example, we're adding a lot of greens and golds and we are really kind of moving those around the space, not just clustering them to one area, and it's amazing the difference that makes. Okay, so we are literally to the most exciting part. We are decorating and we're adding the final touches, and we're gonna see if we can get it all done before the light disappears because it's disappearing so quick. But this is the shelf above the desk. I want to add a few things up here, but I also want to give them some space. Hailey has shared that Sam would love to display a few of his like Star Wars or like Lego items, things like that. And so I really wanted to give him a space to do that. And I thought this shelf would be perfect for that. How cool. He'll be so excited to see that. A lot of this is like thrifted items, like thrifted. This was thrifted, I think, at one point. This is one of Hailey's plants that she has sitting on her back porch, but she won't mind if I steal it. I think it'd be so cute right here. Wanting to decorate up here is because I want to do every opportunity to bring your eye up. I don't want it to feel really overcrowded up here, so I'm going to be very strategic about that, but I think it'll be really pretty. I love this shelf up here because before this makeover, you actually really didn't notice it, but now we are really accentuating it. And I love that it kind of fills that space, adds a little more interest, but it also works to bring your eye up and just make the room feel that much bigger. So I love really playing into the unique features that you have in whatever space you're working on. All right, we're about to do the final, we're gonna close the blinds a little bit, get it nice and moody in here, and then we're gonna let them in and show them their completely transformed room. All right, I'm gonna share a reveal here in just a moment, but look at this before. Do you remember the space? Do you even remember it? It was so white and bright, but there was not a lot of interest in the space. Everything was just kind of placed here. There wasn't a lot of intention around anything. It was just kind of adding the function that was needed. And this after, you guys, are you kidding me? This turned out so good. I love this space. I honestly just want this to be my bedroom now. I'm moving in, so I'm gonna take you through and show you exactly what we did. So we first, of course, started by painting all of the walls that beautiful dark Sherwin-Williams Urbane Bronze. It's a beautiful, warm, earthy color, and I love the richness that it adds into the room. Then we added in those wood slats on the back wall that really work to bring your eye up and give focus that the ceiling is slanted, and it just makes the room feel that much larger. Then once we had the outer shell of the room tackled, we lightened up the space with furniture and decor, and we first started by adding in a new bed frame. This is beautiful because it took up a little bit more space on the wall and it added so much brightness. And then we also added in those beautiful, more substantial nightstands with a
warm wood tone. And then right above the bed, you'll notice the bright textured wall art. That's there to, again, kind of pull your eye into that space and lighten up the walls a little bit more. Then we added in that beautiful bedding. It looked so high-end, so cozy, so plush, and it just makes you want to jump in that bed immediately. I love it. And then to anchor the space, we added a beautiful rug that pulled in those green and brown tones. And of course, we framed out the wall with curtains. We put those as high as they could go and then pulled them both to the side. And all of those things really do a great job of pulling your eye right to that focal wall that also happens to be the window wall, which again just kind of tricks your eye into thinking that the space is really brighter than it is. Now moving right around the room, we added lots of gold touches, including this gold arch mirror that bounces off light and adds a lot of function because it is a full-size standing mirror. And then on the other side of the bathroom door, we added in these oversized frames with simple art inside. And then we also added that DIY frame TV to just warm up and elevate the space completely. And right below that is that newly finished dresser that we found for $100 on Facebook Marketplace. We did kind of like a two-tone look to kind of lighten up the room on the outside, but then on the drawers, we wanted to give a little interest and also tie into the color of the floating desk, which brings me right over to the floating desk area. This adds so much function, but it also keeps the space feeling really light and airy. And if you remember, we actually darkened the color of the desk to help kind of tie it in a little bit better. And finally, we added a floor lamp, an olive tree, and wall planters that I thrifted, and then finished everything off with a few simple textured decor pieces on the top ledge to, again, bring your eye right up and make the space feel larger. I love this dark space. We paired it with light furniture. We added multiple areas of layered lighting. We added leather and wood accents to keep it feeling warm. We kept repeating the same colors to move your eye around the room and add so much cohesiveness. We also added so much function while keeping things minimal and not overpowering. And everything we did really drew your eye to that obvious focal wall with the windows. So again, it brings your eye directly to the light source. I just love it so much. So funny story with the budget, we actually ended up coming in right at $1,000. However, because we had to change out the bed last minute, we did end up going over about $200. So this room cost us in total $1,200, which was totally okay. Kyle and I covered the cost, and it's not a big deal because we are able to use that bed in our bedroom. So it absolutely works out in the end. But let me know in the comments, what's your favorite part of this bedroom? Is there anything that you would have done differently? And stay tuned because next you guys get to see what exactly Sam and Hailey think of their new bedroom.
Oh, it's so depressing. Do you remember that? Do you remember that? It's sad looking.
Looks like we're moving out.
I know. Are you guys me okay?
Okay, you guys can open your eyes.
Oh my god! Oh my gosh, you guys! Holy crap!
It's so cozy.
Oh my gosh! This does not feel like our bedroom at all. Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness.
Wow!
Look at this.
You did it! You did like you did in yours! I was gonna ask, but I was like, no way, they can't. This is insane.
This is great.
Look at the desk. Oh my
my
gosh. And
Desk
the
is
pen.
great.
You guys, this is crazy. I love the color. I was gonna ask you to do dark, but it was too late.
You were?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. I
love it.
really wanted like all dark, but I was like, no, that's like pretty brave. But it looks
Yeah.
so good. Oh my gosh. And the nightstands. I cannot believe this is our bedroom. I'm so impressed, you guys. Wow.
That's so nice.
Wow. And you did something with that up there. That looks so cool. Oh my
Feels like you're
gosh.
on vacation or something.
I know. And look at the bed, Harper. Can I put the baby on it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so comfy. Oh, it's exactly what I was hoping for. The rug.
Got it.
Oh my gosh. How did you do this in 3 days? Not even. Oh my gosh. This is so cool.
It's awesome.
So you had no idea. So what Hailey told us was to do kind of like Moody.
Yeah.
Especially, I know you were talking about just having a bed that was just really comfy to
Yeah.
come into. So you guys have all new bedding from
Oh
Fisher.
my gosh.
This is
And it
great.
is like
It is nice.
It's beautiful.
Lush and beautiful.
This is what I was thinking, like high-end boutique hotels,
Yes.
like that I've never stayed in before. But now I have one in my own room.
you like,
Oh
yeah,
my gosh. It's a touchland.
It is. It's fancy.
Oh my gosh. This is so warm. It doesn't feel like cold with the
Yeah.
black. You're not gonna be able to get you guys out of this bed.
No, right?
Look at that. Oh my gosh. And the headboard is so pretty. Oh my gosh, you guys.
Thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned because we're definitely doing more room rescue makeovers. And if you would like to support this more, we do have memberships open. So you can go ahead and become a member, see some behind the scenes here and there, and also know that your membership is going towards covering the cost of the families that are going to be receiving these makeovers. So you are doing such an incredible thing. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you're subscribed down below. I would love for you to join the family, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.